you snakes, my name is Dante, and today it's Podcast Tuesday once again, and now we're going to talk about new spoilers. In Theros Beyond Death, this time we're talking about all the gods, demigods, and titans in this set. Well, the elder giants as well, which there are two as well. But so yeah, there are all the god cards in the new set are just a new card, although the there are 6 gods that are returning, and they introduce a new god called Clovis in Theros, the god of destiny. But the other ones are just still the same, and they even made 5 demigods as well. They brought back 6 gods with new cards, made a new one, made 5 demigods, and they introduced the elder giants, the titans, Uro and Krotzer. Let's get to number 14. Simply 14, back to the normal animations. But yeah, don't worry, So there is Thassa, Deep Dwelling. So it's 4 mana, 6/5, legendary enchantment creature, god, indestructible. As long as your devotion to blue is less than 5, Thassa isn't a creature. At the beginning of your end step, exile up to 1 other type creature you control, then return that card to the battlefield under your control. And 4 mana, tap another target creature. It's not really that good because it's just 4 mana, 6/5, indestructible. And on top of that, hang on. Yeah. And 4 mana, 6/5. It gives you a free flicker, free blink at end of turn, instead of giving you a free scry at the start of turn. And it can just tap another creature. It's just worse than the original Thassa, God of the Sea, because Thassa, God of the Sea, was 3 mana, 5/5, indestructible as long as your devotion to blue is less than 5. It's into creature. And at the beginning of your upkeep, scry 1, 2 mana, target creature you control can't be blocked this turn. So yeah, this is basically worse than the original one. Yeah. Let's get to card 13. Which, surprisingly, isn't red. But yeah, it's a new demigod. Timuret, chosen from death. 2 mana, 2/8, legendary enchantment creature demigod. That's a new creature type, by the way, in case you didn't realize. Yeah, and its toughness is equal to your devotion to black. 2 mana. Exile up to 2 target cards from graveyards. You gain 1 life for each creature out this way. So if you have more black mana symbols among your permanents, then yeah, it gets tougher. But it's only really good when it comes to graveyard hate. When it comes to trying to beat all those graveyard decks in a certain format, you just use Timuret. Because, it just eats cards from graveyard, gives you life as well. Yeah, and never mind that, And it is good. And then and in case of damage matters, then his toughness actually increases over time. Well, just over time, meaning when your devotion gets higher, of course, because it's always going to get higher than 2, because its starting devotion is already 2, so it's already 2/2. So it will not have less than 2 unless if somehow there's a Mickeson Flatis that will actually just remove all the colored symbols and you don't have a devotion to black. So it's actually a 2/0 and dies. I think Mickeson Flatis works that way. Or it's just some other card that makes cards lose their mana symbols. Mana color, whatever, I don't know. And yeah, it's a really good card. Let's get to card 12. Which unsurprisingly is actually blue. Yep, it's blue. So it's Calafe, Beloved of the Sea, 3 mana, legendary enchantment creature, demigod, it's free. Calafe's power is equal to your devotion to blue. So yeah, its starting devotion will be 2, of course, because of its mana cost, but it'll get bigger over time. Probably, yeah. And it says, creatures and enchantments you control, yep, including this, have spells your opponents cast at target this permanent cost 1 more to cast. Yeah. And the thing is that since it's actually all together, the creatures and enchantments part will not actually affect enchantment creatures twice. So, for example, spells your opponents cast at target Calafe will still only cost 1 more to cast. It will not cost 2 more to cast. Because this is Theros, not original Ravnica. Yes, that was only original Ravnica, which was different depending on the colors. Like, for example, there's like ones that said like green spells you cast white spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Blue spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. So if you play a white or blue spell, it will cost 2 less to cast, not 1. Unlike Claffey, or for example, just use some familiars like there's certain familiars that make cards of its 2 ally colors cost 1 less to cast. Let's get to card 11. And it's... Oh, what? Why is it blue and... Oh, that was actually supposed to be black. Don't worry. And yeah, there we go. It's Erebos, Bleak-Hearted, which is a 4 mana 5/6 legendary enchantment creature, god of indestructible. As long as your devotion to black is less than 5. Erebos isn't a creature. Whenever another creature you control dies, you may pay 2 life. If you draw a card. 2 mana, sacrifice another creature. Target creature gets -2/-1 on turn of turn. I wouldn't say it's worse than the original Erebos, God of the Dead. I don't know. Well, the original Erebos actually had 1 extra toughness, for example. Your opponents can't gain life. Okay. And instead it was 2 mana, pay 2 life to draw a card. Well, that one is actually instead, whenever another creature you control dies, you may pay 2 life if you draw a card. So you don't really have to pay 2 mana to do this as well. You could just get it off for when a... Hello, How are you? Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. So if you have a sack outlet or your creatures just start randomly dying. Oh, hi, Gra. Say, how are you? Yeah. Well, yeah. Let's get back to it. So yeah, if you sacrifice something to sack outlet or just it just randomly dies to some certain effect, combat damage, removal, board wipe possibly, you just pay to life, draw a card if you want. And you don't have to pay any cost for that. And actually, what you could do is 2 mana, sacrifice another creature, target creature gets -2/-1 until next turn. So that's where you get to net 2 mana, pay to life, draw a card. You could do this, sacrifice another creature, target creature gets -2/-1 until next turn. And from there, you could do the pay life. Oh, yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good, yeah. So, yeah. So, it can just... So, Erebos Bleak-Hearted is like the original one. It's actually quite better, I think. Yeah. The opponents not gaining life is not really that important, but... And the extra toughness isn't even important if it's indestructible. Yeah. What may actually make a difference is like how you its trigger ability and possibly the activate ability. Let's get to card 10. Thanks. Yeah, thanks. Well, number 10 is Daxos, Blessed by the Sun. It's 2 mana, legendary enchantment creature, demigod. And its toughness is equal to your devotion to white. It had 2 edge as well. Whenever another creature you control enters battlefield or dies, you gain 1 life. So yeah, it can also get tougher over time, like Timuret. And also, it will start giving you life a bit more often with the other creatures coming in. The creatures dying as well. Yeah, you just gain life with this, and it gets tougher over time. Yeah. So yeah, that source is back for the third time. Well, it appears for the third time. So it originally was that source of Metatis. Then it became that source. That source the undead. What I think it was called like that from the commander deck. And which it originally was human, then it turned into zombie. Then he escaped from the underworld as well. But and then he got promoted to demigod as well. Actually, yeah. So that was literally how he just kept on changing creature types over time, like human to zombie to demigod. Yeah. Let's get to card 9. Simply 9. And we got Anax, Hardened in the Forge. 3 mana, it's free, legendary enchantment creature, demigod. And its power is equal to devotion to red. So you're getting the pattern with the demigods. Their power or toughness is equal to your devotion to color. Hopefully you understand that. Whenever Anax or another non-token creature you control dies, create a 1/1 red satyr creature token with this this creature can't block. If the creature had power 4 or greater, create 2 of those tokens instead. Does this remind you of Witch's Oven? Because I think it does. It reminds me of Witch's Oven, because Witch's Oven says tap, sacrifice a creature, create a food token. If the sacrificed creature was toughness 4 or greater, create 2 food tokens instead. So you see how Annette may be similar to Witch's Oven in a way. Yeah, I think it's actually quite similar. Yeah, it's still a really good card, actually. With the devotion to red power, how it creates tokens when your creatures die. Yeah, it's quite good. So let's get to card 8, the Golden 8. And we got Renata, Called to the Hunt. 4 mana, X3 legendary enchantment creature demigod. Renata's power is equal to devotion to green. Each other creature you control enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. That's actually quite an interesting ability, because it gets stronger over time as well. And on top of that, it actually makes your other creatures enter a bit stronger as well. Yeah, it's really good, that card. It just prepares your creatures a bit so they get stronger every time. And also, Renata will get stronger due to the devotion to green. So yeah, it's actually quite good as well. Really good. So, and yeah. So let's get to number 7. Simply 7. And we got Nylea, Keen-Eyed. So it's 4 mana, 5/6, legendary enchantment creature, god, indestructible. As long as your devotion to green is less than 5, it isn't a creature. Creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. 3 mana, reveal top card of your library. If it's a creature card, put in your hand. Otherwise, you may put in your graveyard. So, this has 1 less power than the original Nylea. Instead of giving your other creatures trample, it makes your other creatures easier to cast. And instead of making other creatures stronger, it actually gives you more creatures. And if you don't find a creature with Nylea's effect, you get a free surveil as well, which is quite good. Similar to how, for example, there's this card, this Eldrazi, 7 mana, 8/8, which at the beginning of combat on your turn, you could reveal top card of your library. If it was a creature, your other. Hello, the Victor Green Eyes. How are you? So yeah, it's. Oh, what? I don't. So yeah. Well. So yeah, it. So like, how does this card that being of compound your turn, reveal top card of your library? If it's a creature, you may have each other creature become a copy of that creature until end of turn, and then you get a free scry, basically. Well, it doesn't say scry or surveil. It just says you may put on the bottom of your library, or you may put in your graveyard. Yeah, it's actually quite good. And the thing is that Nylea's activated ability is actually cheaper than the original one. What? Okay. Oh, hello, Liz. How are you? So, yeah. Like, for example, the original Nylea's ability was 4 mana, but now this is 3 mana. And the new Nylea ability is actually card advantage, so I think it's actually... Oh, that's cool. So, I think the new Nylea ability is actually better than... The new Nylea is better than the original Nylea. That's the reason why possibly it has 1 less power, I think. Let's get to card 6. And it's Heliod. Sun Crowned. 3 mana, 5/5 legendary enchantment creature, god. Indestructible as long as your devotion to white is less than 5. It isn't a creature. Whenever you gain life, put a +1 sun counter on target creature or enchantment you control. 1 mana, another target creature gains lifelink until end of turn. Yeah. So it makes an infinite combo with Walking Ballista. Here's how. It's double X, 0/0 artifact creature construct, enter the battlefield with X +1 counters on it. 4 mana, pay +1 counter on Walking Ballista. Remove a +1 counter on it. From it to deal 1 damage to any target. Okay. So you have Heliod on the board. So let's say there is Walking Ballista on turn 2, for example. Okay, turn 3, cast Heliod, Sun Crowned. Turn 4, just give it lifelink. Think attack, if it's possible. If it's possible, then give it lifelink and attack. So then it doesn't die. So it deals damage. You gain 1 life, gets a +1 counter. And now, do this. Just shoot off the opponent, so it goes like 1 damage, gain 1 life, put +1 counter. 1 damage, gain 1 life, put +1, yeah. Yeah. It just... So you do this over and over until... So yeah, you just kill off the opponent, deal infinite damage and infinite life gain as well. And not only that, it can be played in Pioneer. Also, in the latest ban announcement, Wizards was saying in the Pioneer format, they decided to relax the bannings for that for a while. They're not banning anything in this ban announcement, but they are aware of the Heliod Ballista Infinite combo that will soon be played in Pioneer. And if it gets problematic, they will ban Walking Ballista. Yeah, from Pioneer. Well, in case if you didn't know, in the new ban announcements, they banned Micus and Flatus, Oko, and Motsopol from Modern. Yep, Oko got a 4th ban because it started off banned in Brawl, then Standard, Standard, Pioneer, and now Modern. Do you think it will go to Legacy? I don't know. I think it will. Yeah. Let's get to card 5. Oh, no. Wrong animation. That's the actual animation. Because we're back to the normal animations. Yes. And it's Perforos, Bronze Blooded. 5 mana, 7/6, legendary enchantment card. A creature, god. And indestructible as long as your devotion is less than 5. Perforos isn't a creature. Other creatures you control have haste. 3 mana. Right? Hello. Hello, RC. How are you? Yeah. So, other creatures you control have haste. And free mana, you may put a red creature or an artifact creature from your hand onto battlefield. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. So, yeah. It doesn't have to gain haste because he already gives them haste. It's a worse version of sneak attack because sneak attack is 4 mana enchantment, 1 mana. You may put a creature card from your hand onto battlefield. That creature gains haste. Sacrifice the creature at the beginning of the next end step. So yeah. So how it goes is the thing is that it gives you every creature's haste. Okay, that's new. Well, that's not what sneak attack could do. Hello, photo booth bye. Welcome back. How are you? So yeah. So that's new. It gives them haste. Okay. Yeah. What's new is it. Hello, Satcha. How are you? Yeah, it would be a good commander. So I want to build a commander deck around the new uh uh I was thinking of building a commander deck around the new Aphrios actually. Yeah. Finally you can get sneak attack as a commander. Well, Perforos is the sneak attack. Well, the disadvantage is it costs 1 mana more. Well, if you get Devotion 5, you'll get a 7/6. Indestructible. It always is indestructible, for example, yeah. Okay. What's different, it gives everything haste. But you have to pay 3 mana to do its sneak attack ability. And you can only bring a red creature or artifact creature. Sneak attack can bring any creature. Doesn't have to be an artifact, doesn't have to be red. So you could bring down Emrakul, Grizzlebrand with sneak attack, but Perforos, you only get big. So you could drop Dracos and yeah. So that's true. Well, for example, you just go like, yeah, that's true. Also, for example, uh, you could drop stuff like Draco, or you could drop in any big red creature. You could drop in certain, like Inferno Titans, Soul of Chandler, I think it was. I don't know. And just or Bogarden Hellkite as well. Yeah, for example. It's really good. So not as good as sneak attack, but yeah. Perforos is also good. It can be your commander. He may become a 7/6. It's indestructible. Still costs 1 mana more. Gives everything haste. And has a worse sneak attack effect. Costs 2 more and it's conditional. That's why I'd say sneak attack is quite better. Let's get to card 4. And it's Clothis, God of Destiny. So it's 3 mana, 4/5, legendary enchantment creature, god, indestructible. As long as your devotion to red and green is less than 7, Clothis isn't a creature. So it's not Senegos, it's just Clothis. 3 of your pre-combat main phase, exile a card from a graveyard. If it was a land card, add red or green. Otherwise, you gain 2 life and deals damage to each opponent. So yeah, it's good when it comes to graveyard hate, and it can provide mana or just drain life from the opponents. Yeah, for example. Yeah. Also, yeah, what's good is, for example, so it's so when I saw this, I was like, wait, what? Uh, why? What is Clothis? I thought it would be like Senegos, because Senegos was like originally a planeswalker and then he turned into a god. That's all. Yeah. So let's get to card 3. Golden 3. Yeah, remember to do that if you haven't already. So that's the golden 3. It's Athreos, Shroud Veiled. 6 mana, 4/7 legendary enchantment creature god. With indestructible, as long as your devotion to white and black is less than 7, isn't a creature, at the beginning of your end step, just throw a coin counter on another target creature. Whenever a creature with a coin counter in it dies or goes to exile, return it to battlefield under control. So it just saves certain creatures. So when they die, they come back. And here's a trick you can do with an Abzan commander deck. And it is Skullbriar, the Walking Grave. So you could try an Abzan commander like Anafenza, or what other Abzan commander is there? Wait, Abzan commanders. I don't know, just any Abzan commander. And then just try using Skullbriar, the Walking Grave, with Athreos, because Skullbriar Walking Grave is 2 mana, 1/1, legendary creature, zombie elemental, haste. Whenever Skullbriar, the Walking Grave, deals combat damage to your player, put +1/+1 counter on it. And the important part is, counters remain on Skullbriar as it moves to any zone other than a player's hand or library. So, Athreos never says, remove the coin counter from the creature. It just says, it just comes back. So, with Skullbriar, if it has a coin counter, dies, comes back, and it still has the coin counter. And he goes like, okay, now what? And then he just dies. Okay, he comes back with coin counter. Just go infinite sack with a sack outlet, or just it's unstoppable creature as well. Yeah. If you do 0 mana sack outlet, you get infinite sack, and just do something like, or with Altar of Dimension, just mill them entirely. For example. Yeah, that's a really good card. Skullbriar and Athreos. Well, Athreos mainly. And it's the BioBots promo, which is actually quite cool. Let's get to card 2. And it's Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath. It's 3 mana, 6/6 legendary creature, Elder Giant. When enters battlefield, sacrifice it unless it escaped. Whenever Uro enters battlefield or attacks, you gain 3 life and draw a card. Then you may put a land card from your hand onto battlefield. Escape. Double green, double blue. Exile 5 other cards for your graveyard. Yeah. So, it may work as a 3 mana growth spiral, which gains you 3 life. But you can then escape it for 4 mana. And yeah, and sorcery speed. So escape it for 4 mana, exiling 5 other cards, yeah. And you get him. A 6/6 Uro that gains you 3 life, draws a card, then you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. And then when he attacks, it does the same. over and over. Yeah, just does the same when it attacks. Yeah. So here's a trick. Try this. With Hushbringer, it says, creatures entering the battlefield or dying don't cause abilities to trigger. So it's 2 mana, 1/2 flying lifelink. So, just play Uro. Okay, for 3 mana, the regular casting cost, and you get 6/6 for free mana. 6/6 for 3 mana. Yes, you don't get the growth spiral effect, but you will get it when you attack. Don't worry. Hopefully he'll live long enough. And yeah, it's quite good as well. That trick. It also works with the best card in this podcast as well. Number 1. And it's Krotza, Titan of Death's Hunger. So it's 2 mana, 6/6 legendary Elder Giant with 1 into the battlefield, sacrifices unless it escaped. Whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, each opponent discards a card, and each opponent who didn't discard a non-land card this way loses 3 life. And yeah, escape, 2 black, 2 red, it's out 5 other cards from your graveyard. So yeah, you can also try the same thing with Hushbringer. It's just like Uro, but it's better. 2 mana instead of 3 when you cast it normally. And the ability is actually quite better because instead of gaining you 3 life and drawing a card and possibly playing a land, so just instead of giving you growth spirals and 3 mana and 3 life, instead it forces the opponent to discard a card, and they'll probably discard, and they probably won't discard a land either, because if they don't discard a non-land, they lose 3 life. So they probably discard a non-land. But if they have to discard a land or just don't discard anything, then fine, they lose 3 life. If they discard land, they lost a card and 3 life. That's how good it is. And it's 2 mana initially, then for 4 mana you get it, plus 5 standing 5 other cards, and you get it recurringly, 6/6. Elder Giant with this ability, and it's a good card. It's better than Uro, and it's the best card in this podcast as well. Possibly one of the best cards in this. It's one of the best cards in this set as well. Yeah. Hopefully you understand this. Yes. There we go. Now that's Krotza. And that's the podcast. Congratulations, you've reached the end of the podcast. So why don't you like and subscribe and follow if you haven't already. Stay tuned to our next videos, streams, podcasts. Podcasts will be live every Tuesday, so stay tuned to them. Watch my videos too. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Also, the new mechanics video will be coming out soon. English, and possibly there's going to be a Spanish version of the mechanics podcast. So if you want to know the new mechanics of the set for pre-release, then just watch the upcoming mechanics video. Yep, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and bye.